listening to Big Picture You podcast series from VCG Studios.
Good morning, afternoon, or night, everyone. Coming to you from the VCG Media Broadcast booth. I'm Verve Coach Gordon, and you are listening to Big Picture You, the podcast where wellness practices and concepts meet practical application and real-life example. Today, we begin a new season. This broadcast is episode 1 of season 2 and is actually the 10th full episode in the series. Kind of a landmark episode. Thanks so much to my listeners for helping me get to this point. Very proud to say that I now have regular listeners from across the globe. Included with my U.S. listeners are listeners from Ireland, Germany, Russia, Singapore, France, and Italy. I'd also like to mention that I've connected with an amazing music therapist in South Africa, and she's going to be using my Counting Down for Courage song in her work with abused children and at-risk youth. Very rewarding stuff. So a big shout out and thank you to all y'all around the world. I'd love to hear from you, so please reach out to Gordon@vervecoach.com. Today I'll be picking up on the harmony theme from last time as a way of introducing the 11 energies of the Verve, or the universal creative energies, and why I believe that we all possess them. So last time I talked about harmony in the sense of well-adjustment, both within and without, and the notion of greater harmony in our own lives will certainly bring greater harmony to our groups, organizations, and institutions. This time, I'm going to equate that personal and group harmony with musical harmony. Last time I also mentioned STEAM education, whereby the arts bind together science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Today's episode is a pretty good example of my own informal STEAM background. I'll kick this off with a little educational background. Part of my return to college was the study of physics, particularly astronomy. This is where I began connecting the dots that would become the 11 energies of the Verve. These creative energies come from the cosmos, the very heavens, if you will, weaving a connection throughout the universe, through each and every human being, through the core of Mother Earth herself. Think about the wonder of heat and energy from our closest star, the Sun, so far away, 93 million miles from Earth, and yet without its energy, the beauty of human life and Mother Nature on Earth could not exist. I'm going to hit on the connection of heat, light, vibration, and energy here in a minute. But first, let's start at the start. As it turns out, every star vibrates at a certain frequency. Many of these frequencies produce tones that are audible to the human ear. Some sound like a woo, some sound like ew, ew, some just kind of drone along high and low. There's a particular set of stars that have been a popular focus of study called Kepler stars, so named after the telescope that identified them, which was named after famed astronomer and mathematician Johannes Kepler. He was born in 1571. And if you visit the following link, and I will send you this link if you email me at gordon@vervecoach.com, but you can go out to www.stellarchoir.com, and you'll find a star map of an interactive choir of roughly 8,500 singing stars. And these are those audible frequencies that they're producing. You can click on various stars on the map and hear the songs that they sing. You can create your own compositions. There are actually composers out there creating entire suites of music based in these star songs. You can also see a visual representation of the pattern and wave of the vibration as you hover over each star with your cursor. As I mentioned a moment ago, heat and light is vibration, and vice versa. Just think of all the heat and vibration that make up the universal energy field, including the creative energies that do permeate us each and every day. Again, think of all of the life and beauty our own sun brings to us and to Mama Nature. Now we're really moving toward the core concepts of the 11 energies of the Verve. You may or may not know that there is a finite amount of energy in the universe. That is the first law of thermodynamics. You can't completely eliminate energy that already exists, and you can't create new energy from nothing. You can only transform energy. All of this remembering, of course, that everything vibrates with energy, down to the tiniest submolecular particle, right down to what is called the God particle, the frequencies of which, much like a star, have been graphed and translated to true musical forms and pieces. The Higgs boson, or the God particle, and giant stars both have rapid patterns of vibration. So we're truly seeing common and shared creative energies from the macro to the micro, and again, vice versa. When talking about energy and vibration in nature around us all the time, we could also talk about things like hot versus cold, dynamics of wind and weather, or even methods of locomotion like a bird flapping its wings. The connection of vibration, energy, sound, and movement through the universal energy field. Wow. Absolutely amazing and awesome. Bringing us back to there is a finite amount of energy in the universe. Here's my take, folks. If we're sharing and transforming energy, we might as well transform the negative and share in the positive. Therein lies the power of the 11 energies of the Verve. You have the creative power of the universe behind you in everything you do. Some of this may seem like kind of heady stuff, but really the bottom line is always about simple and practical application to all aspects of our lives, bringing about personal positivity and performance of best self. So that practical application of these 11 energies. Every time you take an action, you are creating. Your life is your canvas, and you are taking brush strokes upon it. All the while, growing from within to without. And providing you with materials, tools, and mediums are the 11 energies of the Verve. And again, these are simply foundational values, and I'm just going to rattle them off for you here, 1 through 11 real quick. Passion, enthusiasm, compassion, openness, sincerity, truth, self-value, forgiveness, sparkle, courage, and love. And I will be doing an episode on each of these coming up, talk a little bit more about them. And there's also a color association that I will mention.
You are listening to Big Picture You podcast series from VCT Studios.
I encourage you to check out my website. There's a lot of good information there, as well as access to my book, articles, free infographics, podcast links, newsletters, and a bunch of other stuff. And, of course, contact links to reach me at the highest possible speed. All content, text, and music are copyright Verve Coach Gordon, unless otherwise cited. Thanks so much for listening to the Big Picture You program today. I always appreciate listener feedback, so please reach out to Gordon at vervecoach.com with questions, or even answers for that matter. And remember, kindness is beautiful, both toward others and yourself, in creating an amazing and empowering big picture you, big picture me, and big picture us. Be well, my friends.